Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Florida evacuates as
a bill to send relief after Hurricane Harvey could head to President Trump's desk today as FEMA warns it's money.
Hurricane Irma barrels toward the state. I'm Meg Oliver in Miami. I'll have the latest coming up.
Good morning, 6:30 on this Friday. Chet Lehman, Missy O'Malley with you. Matt has our weekend forecast in a moment. Our top story this morning, the Florida Keys and parts of South Florida under a hurricane warning.
That's right. The National Weather Service has also issued storm surge warnings for the areas as Irma, now a Category 4 hurricane, head towards the U.S. and at least 11 deaths in the Caribbean are being blamed on that storm. CBS's Meg Oliver is in Miami with our latest.
Final preparations are underway as Florida residents watch and wait. Many seeing the damage Hurricane Irma, the most powerful Atlantic storm on record, has left behind in the Caribbean.
It has caused untold damage and suffering in its wake.
In Cuba, hundreds gathered in prayer Thursday, asking the country's patron saint to spare them. The storm, still packing winds more than 160 miles per hour, is expected to hit there late tonight and then bear down on Florida sometime Saturday night into Sunday.
This is a catastrophic storm that our state has never seen. It has already killed many people in the Caribbean. Do not believe you can ride this storm out.
More than 500,000 people have been told to evacuate. Traffic has highways backed up for miles.
people made a rush for gas. By one estimate, nearly 40% of the pumps in Miami and Fort Lauderdale have run dry.
Shelters are set up for residents moving out of the storm's path, but some are starting to fill up.
It's scary looking at the news and seeing how it wiped out other towns and stuff.
And though much of the focus is on Florida, forecasters warn Irma could also punish areas to the north in Georgia and the Carolinas. Meg Oliver, CBS News, Miami.
Georgia's governor has ordered nearly 540,000 residents living in the coast to evacuate and to head inland.
Unbelievable. We'll continue to follow the progress of that here as well.
Unbelievable. Our air quality, once again, is going to be a little tough to deal with. I think for the afternoon right now we've seen some improvement, but it's not going to last, unfortunately. We're dealing with moderate air quality in Bozeman, unhealthy for sensitive groups for Butte, Dillon, and West Yellowstone. Temperatures this morning, very comfortable. You may need a light jacket on the way out the door. The afternoon is going to warm up very quickly. Talking mid to upper 80s and a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm as you head into the afternoon. You can see the smoke very thick in the mining city today as we're starting off the afternoon. While we do have some rain chances on the way, I think that they are going to be limited today. A little better chance tomorrow. As you head into next week, believe it or not, we have a little relief on the way, and we'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Matt. Now 6:33. At least 15 people killed this morning as an earthquake strikes offshore from Mexico. U.S. Geological Survey says the earthquake, preliminary magnitude 8.1, struck off the southern coast of Mexico late last night. Mexico, by the way, reporting that quake measuring 8.4. Quake shook buildings in Mexico City some 450 miles away, causing people to run out into the streets for safety. Glass doors shattered at Mexico City's main airport. There were reports of tumbling walls. Helicopters circled over to the city to assess the damage, but there were no immediate reports of casualties in the city. Hotel in the Pacific state of Oaxaca was evacuated. Ceiling of a shopping mall in the capital of Chiapas state collapsed, littering the floor with debris. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center and widespread hazardous tsunami waves are possible. Also, the 2017 fire season in Montana has been devastating for many people and communities, and as of now, more than 1 million acres of land has burned across the state. That number comes from the Northern Rockies Coordination Center. It's the third largest acreage burned in more than 2 decades. Cost of fighting the fires has reached about $300 million so far this year. An estimated $53 million of that came directly from the state budget, the rest from federal money.
And the Myers Fire, burning 25 miles southwest of Phillipsburg, has grown quite a bit. The fire has now chewed through 57,933 acres. Right now, 376 personnel remain on that fire. And today they plan to start taking steps to protect structures on the east side of the Continental Divide.
Staying on topic, firefighters at the Alice Creek Blaze near Lincoln say they expect that fire to pick up today. Crews say warmer temperatures and winds from the northeast will likely drive the fire towards the southwest, where there are homes, cabins, and other structures. Because of that, firefighters will shift resources and concentrate on protecting those buildings in the Alice Creek area today. Currently, there are 258 people fighting that fire, plus 4 helicopters, 4 bulldozers, and 6 skid steers.
And a small grass fire broke out near Gallatin Gateway last night, but it was quickly put out. The Gallatin Gateway Fire Department tells us that the fire was spotted north of Hawk Hill, east of Highway 191. Firefighters responded and had the fire out in about 45 minutes. It scorched half an acre. Firefighters say they think a broken brake drum from an 18-wheeler started that blaze.
Some good news, more help for ranchers hard hit by fire and drought. The Montana Department of Agriculture has announced the expansion of the Montana Hay Lottery. The lottery drawings will be held in early October. Producers who have already applied for the lottery but were not chosen in the first drawing will still be eligible for subsequent drawings. The hay will be distributed in semi-load lots, with the next drawing again in early October.
And many of us are breathing smoke from all those western wildfires on a daily basis. MTN's Eric Clements spoke with a doctor about what it's doing to our bodies and how we can lessen those effects.
Air quality in western Montana has been unclean for some time. There are between 35 and 250 smoke particulates per cubic centimeter of air. When you breathe in that contaminated air, those particulates settle in the lungs.
So these irritants can settle in there, and people that have baseline lung disease can be more at risk for problems from that.
Those problems range in severity. You could get a sore throat or worsening asthma, but some problems could warrant immediate medical attention.
Chest heaviness is a pretty specific symptom, and that's one that doctors take very seriously. So obviously, if you are feeling chest heaviness, it's something that's new to you or worsening, worse with activity, you need to be examined immediately.
To save your lungs, doctors advise people to avoid the outdoors as often as possible.
And this isn't the time to go and do some activities outside. Certainly this isn't the day to work on your garden, but rather try to find some fun activities to do inside for the small ones and the young ones.
But Missoula is a very active community, and people may not like the idea of spending the rest of the summer indoors, so they might be tempted to go to a hardware store and buy a paper mask like this one. But the truth is, when the smoke is this bad, these paper masks really don't do you any favors.
Basic masks are probably not going to make much of a dent in what is going into your lungs from the smoke. They generally stop large particles, but not the smaller particles.
N95 industrial respirators are recommended for those who are required to stay outside for work. But Dr. Anderson says it's best to just stay in. In Missoula, Eric Clements, MTN News.
More headlines on the national scene here at 6:38. This morning, President Trump will receive an update from federal officials on Hurricane Irma as the storm moves ever closer to Florida.
The president heads to Camp David in the afternoon, where he'll monitor the storm over the weekend. CBS's Seth Lemon is in Washington, where the House is expected to pass a Hurricane Harvey relief package.
A massive disaster aid package for Hurricane Harvey gets a vote today. It includes a deal President Trump made with Democrats to temporarily increase the debt ceiling and keep the government funded for the next 3 months.
Frankly, it's time that we walk out and shake hands and have a deal. And they agreed, and I will tell you, it was there was a lot of spirit in that room.
Amendment is agreed to.
The Senate voted 80-17 on the Harvey bill Thursday. All 17 no votes were cast by Republicans, including Lindsey Graham, who called his a protest vote.
We're going to have another crisis 90 days.
The House of Representatives votes on the $15.3 billion package today, but nearly 100 conservative Republicans are expected to oppose the bill. Some Republicans also opposed the president granting another Democratic request yesterday. In a tweet, President Trump assured young undocumented immigrants or dreamers they have nothing to worry about, writing in part, "For all of those DACA that are concerned about your status during the 6-month period, no action."
But I asked the president to do, and boom, 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 the tweet appeared. So that was good.
If the debt and hurricane relief bill Pelosi helped negotiate passes the House today, it heads to President Trump's desk to be signed. Replenishing funds FEMA warned would run out Friday, even as Florida braces for Hurricane Irma's impact. Seth Lemon for CBS News, Washington.
Back here at home at 6:40, Belgrade High School has seen an increase in enrollment this year. School just now more than 900 total students. Belgrade High's principal Paul Lamb says just about every class noticeably larger. Now, to help with the increase, 3 half-time teaching positions have been added to help reduce class size, but the school is also under a remodel, which will create more classroom space eventually.
This addition that we have should put us comfortable for the next 10 to 20 years, depending on how fast this growth keeps hitting us.
Now, the high school's remodel is expected to be completed by the fall of 2019. Meaning lots of things out there in Belgrade.
Bursting at the seams.
Absolutely true.
No doubt about it. We do have to take a quick break. Coming up when Montana This Morning returns, so does Max Bacchus. He made his appearance at MSU last night. We have that story for you in just a moment. But first, a little preview of CBS This Morning. What's happening right here at 7 a.m.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, the latest Hurricane Irma forecast. We have a team of correspondents spread out across Florida where people are being told to get out now or hunker down. Plus, the massive 8.1 magnitude earthquake that shook Mexico overnight. We'll hear from a CBS reporter near the epicenter. And more from Charlie's 60 Minutes interview with Steve Bannon. We'll see you at 7.